Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 18 of the Behind the Stripes podcast. I'm Rama Peroo. Glad to have back with us this week Cowley Hall of Famer, two-time World Series champion, Coach Dave Burroughs. Coach, thanks for being with us.
Good to be back. I had a good time last week. I had a doctor's appointment in Wichita early Tuesday morning, and then
That always sounds fun.
it was awesome. But then Pitt State was playing in Wichita against Newman over at Westside Athletic, and I got to spend a little time with Buck as well. So
Terrific.
yeah, I had a good day. It was fun, But I did miss being here though too.
Well, we missed you as well, but Brock Buckingham doing great things there at Pitt State, and glad you could be there to show him some support.
Yeah, he's a toast of the town for sure.
Man, doing awesome. And we got another guy that's done unbelievable things, and you'll remember him from being one of the best soccer players to ever play here at Cowley, and then also do unbelievable things as a coach as well. And he took those talents on to now become the head coach at NCAA Division I, Eastern Illinois University. We have with us today Ruy Vaz. Ruy, thanks so much for joining us.
Pleasure to be back home, man.
Well, and this is like home for you, isn't it? I mean, I know that through all the people I've ever had the pleasure of being able to work with and also follow as an athlete before you were a coach here, man, there's nobody that bled the orange and black more than you. So, but great to have you back with us.
No, thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, first off, what we like to do with our guests is kind of get to go all the way back in time and tell us a little bit about yourself. Where were you born and raised, and what was life like for a young Ruy Vaz growing up?
Yeah, I was born and raised in São Paulo, Brazil, big town in South America. Just a middle class child growing up, and growing up in a big city is way different than being here, in the Midwest, in a small town. And no, it was nice. Went to private school, played a lot of soccer. I also did swimming too. I think there are only two sports that I really did. I played basketball a little bit in middle school, but it wasn't my thing. We do not have so much baseball there, But yeah, grew up playing futsal and soccer, going to school. Education was always a big thing for my mom and my dad. So it was a priority, actually. So just grew up in a academic environment. My mom is a teacher as well. So, and my dad's an engineer.
Okay.
Was an engineer. He passed away 2 years ago.
I'm sorry.
And it's it was an average, normal life of a middle class guy from São Paulo.
Brothers or sisters?
Yes, I have one older brother. He's 1 year and 2 months older than me. We're very close in age. And he's an artist. He's back in São Paulo, Brazil.
Okay.
He's an artist in his painting, graphic design, and also musician too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very creative then.
Yes, I grew up in the middle of creative people. Yeah.
How about soccer? When did you start playing soccer? At what age? And when did you realize, hey, this is something I'm pretty good at and might be able to, want to continue playing?
So I've always been, I was always really close with my dad, and my dad played soccer as well. He grew up playing futsal. Futsal is a big sport in Brazil, So my dad played futsal and soccer, and I would follow him, to the games and watch him play. And he played at a club that I started playing as well, And I think for us Brazilians, it's very normal to fall in love with soccer. It's something almost natural, as if you are supposed to like soccer, because you are bombarded every single day with soccer news and soccer events, So, and then people play on the streets. There is a bunch of courts, same as here. You see basketball courts or people throwing the football. But in Brazil, it's soccer, and I developed to play well, especially futsal. And I think I started playing probably at the age of 3 or 4. I don't know. But playing more, in club, I think when I was 6 or 7.
Okay.
But I wasn't playing at the youth level, for professional teams, because education has always been a priority for my family. So I was just studying and playing more of a recreational and futsal at the club. And then when I was around 16, I knew that I had developed into a good player, and I wanted to try something at the professional level. And then I started doing some tryouts, and I started playing at some professional agents showcases, and then I had the opportunity to go to Europe, and then that's a different story. But yeah, I think around the age of 16, 17, I started being more serious about it.
Gotcha. Is that when you started kind of getting some looks at from colleges too, and being recruited? And how did you get recruited to come to Cali? And what made you make that decision to come all the way from Brazil to Arc City, Kansas?
Well, so it was the opposite, because at the age of 18, I was recruited to go play in Italy. You know, so I went there and I played a few years in Italy, moved and played in Portugal, and I have a few teammates there that they played in the US. You know, they went to the US and they say, hey man, you should consider getting a scholarship, because I always said I want to go to university, I want to get a degree. So I think back in 2010, I was speaking with a few friends of mine, and they were playing the US and they had played with me in Italy. And they said, look, there is this opportunity, this agency that helps you go to the US to get a scholarship and play. And I think in April 2011, I played at a showcase, and one of the guys knew Roberto here. And then he messaged Roberto, and then I was put in touch with Roberto, and Roberto was interested. And 2011, that's how it started to come here.
Terrific. Coach, you know, it's you've had an opportunity to coach some individuals that maybe not from Brazil, but from other countries. You know, that's not an easy thing for a young man to be 18 years old, 17 years old, making that transition to come over to Arc City, Kansas, somewhere they're not used to. But how's that experience been for you whenever you coach those individuals?
It's all worked out good, but there were barriers that we had to overcome when we started, and most of the time was with the language. But those guys learn quick, and, you know, we learn from them just like they learn from us. So it was really a good time. I enjoyed having, you know, we had a lot of Latin players from Puerto Rico and Venezuela. So those guys stay in touch, and you know what, I enjoyed having them here. But it was a struggle early, but we learned from it, and it got easier at the more Puerto Rican kids that we had roll through here. So.
In my year, there were a few guys from Puerto Rico and a Venezuelan catcher.
Yeah, Roger.
Yeah, I remember. We're good friends.
Excellent.
So it was good times, man. 2011.
Had you been to the United States prior to that?
Yes, I visited the United States in 1998. I went to Florida with family, you know, to Disney, obviously, as you would. And in 2000, we went to California just to drive from LA to San Francisco and back, you know, kind of dream of my mom and my dad.
Oh, excellent.
And but we always say it's, you know, those places, they are the US, but they're not really the US because it's tourism.
Right.
You know, so when I came to the US, truly was 2011, my first time here.
Yeah, Arc City, Kansas. That's truly U.S.
That's truly the US.
I hope so.
Yes. Yes.
Coach, you were here as you know, coaching the Tiger baseball team when Ruy was here coming over to play soccer, and you know it was still a newly formed soccer program whenever you came, Ruy. But this guy here, he helped take that program to some new heights, and
you could tell he was different watching him play than everybody else. But, and I'm not talking bad about anybody else. He was just his play was elevated over everybody. So
for sure,
yeah, he's set the tone for what Cali soccer is now.
And you mentioned Coach Roberto dos Santos. You know, you had a couple great years playing here for him. You were a first-team All-American and the Jayhawk Conference Offensive Player of the Year both years at the school. You were the National Soccer Coaches Association 2012 Junior College Men's Scholar Player of the Year. You were named the school's January 2012 and September 2012 Student Athlete of the Month, and were the college's 2013 Male Student Athlete of the Year. So had great success, team-wise and individual-wise. But what do you remember most from those years at Cali?
I think they were my best years in the US. These first two, because that impact when something is new, impacts you in a way, it stays ingrained in you. And there are some people, they have negative experiences going to a different place or different country. And for me, everything was so positive here. Everything from the very first moment I set foot on campus, you know, everybody has been very welcoming. Everybody was very amazing with me, from teachers to staff or coaches. Still remember first time I saw coach and lefty, they were very intimidating because Roberto was talking,
Same
"Hey
here.
man, those guys are you know, those guys are the GOAT here." So I was very intimidated. Also because I remember I had to do an interview with him, but no, but everything was very impressive because we used to say when we were students, you go to Cowley, you just wish it's 4 years.
Yeah.
You know, it's a place that you just feel comfortable. It's cozy, it's nice. Even in the difficult moments, everybody's there to help you. And it's nice that the campus is very pretty as well. The campus is beautiful, and also obviously we had a good experience on the field. And I remember that the games, I had fun playing. It was fine. Scoring goals, having the accolades. This was nice. But these are memories that they just fade away. You know, those memories, because you're on the field, you play. Sometimes you play good, sometimes you play bad.
Yeah.
But just remembering what it meant to be part of the Cowley family, to be on campus, classes, you know, walking from one class to another, going to the events, and then Arkalala was very impactful to me because I got to help as well. I got to do some service learning, and that's how I met my father-in-law,
Yeah.
James Fry, and
For the ACES program.
the ACES program. Yeah, and everything. I think my first semester and first year was very, very impactful, and Coach Roberto is a big part with that. And there are some coaching things that I really got from him and I still use today, which is, you know, if you don't make the player feel at home first and foremost, it's not going to be a complete enjoyment, because some players are going to come, they're going to perform, they're going to be good. If they don't like the place, they're going to leave, even if they're doing well, you know. And if they really like the place, if they create roots in the place, you're going to want to stay, regardless if you play well, if you play. Obviously, if there's something outrageous that come to you, top Division 1 offering a full ride and everything, you are going to think about it.
Yeah.
I'm not lying. But when you like a place, why do you want to leave? You know. So, and Roberto, he always makes sure to this day that when you go to his office, you're going home. You know, you're going to a place that you just want to sit down, and he bribes you with coffee. You know that always with strong coffee, and yeah, and the first office was down here. You know, Gally Johnson.
It's changed a little bit, hadn't it?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, yes, but then I think November of 2011. That's when they opened the Hafner, and that's when Roberto moved to the office there. But you know, there is always a very special taste to come back to Cowley. You know, to come back to campus. It's very nice to see familiar faces. You know, and yeah, those are honestly the two best years that I've had here in the US. Obviously, you have moments that you're happy, like having a kid and getting married. Does everything special. Micah, I promise you, I'm not saying that, but she understands what I mean, because it was very special to her too, because I met her here.
Yes.
But yeah, those are two of my best years here,
Wonderful.
on and off the field.
You know, isn't it great, Coach, when we hear former athletes to come back? I mean, and obviously who went and coached here too, but just to hear the connection that they had coming from somewhere else and coming to Cali, and then wishing it was a 4-year school and that they didn't have to leave.
There have been times I wish it was a 4-year school too.
I'm sure there's some guys you wanted to stay.
Yeah,
And then there was some you were glad it was 2 years.
It was, yeah, should have been a 1-year program sometime.
Right. You got something you like to ask Huey?
Yeah. So in Brazil, when you're in high school, do they have team sports like they do in America? In Brazil, where you play against other people in soccer, other schools,
Yes.
other private institutions, and
Yes,
things like that.
we do. But it's not with the level of competition that you find here. I think in Brazil, they really not force you. They really force you to play club if you want to play at a highest level.
Okay.
Not force you to play. They force you to pursue that. If you want to play at the highest level, playing at a high school or playing at, you know, just like soccer clubs that you see in Wichita, or no, the highest level is, you know, it's different. But you do have many schools that help you with futsal, basketball, swimming, I think gymnastics as well, some. But I played in high school, middle school and high school. I played futsal there. And I say futsal because not many schools in a big town, you have the space to have a soccer field. You know,
Really?
yeah. The high schools that I studied in, they were just buildings, just like a building with 7, 8 floors.
Didn't really have athletic fields then.
Yeah, and then our futsal court was underground, you know, so you don't have much space. And then some bigger schools, they have it's not even full-size soccer field. They just have a soccer field. So the soccer fields that you have to play, it's clubs, you know. So, and that's the thing. That's the catch-22, because you have to decide if you go to play a club, then you have to relinquish a little bit your academic pursuit, because you're gonna have to go to either to a public institution. Well, now it changed, because every single club, professional club, it's mandatory that you have a high school there connected, and it's mandatory that a kid graduates. Before then, like 15, 20 years ago, it wasn't like that. You know, some kids, they didn't even graduate middle school. Some kids didn't even graduate high school, and they became professional soccer players. You know? Some of our biggest names in sports, they don't have a high school diploma.
I didn't realize
because
that.
they have to give up. They go and they live in the club when they're 11, 12. You know, so that's the reality of professional soccer players. Nowadays it's different. Nowadays, I think probably the federal law, I don't know, but it's mandatory that a kid gets the education whilst being at a professional club. Kids still go live in just like live in the dorms, but they go live in the club, you know, when they are, 12, 13. Especially because many of the kids that play in São Paulo, for instance, my state, they come from other states. So they're not going to find a school, get enrolled there. The club takes care of that.
Yeah, unreal.
So,
good question, Coach.
So how about like private lessons? Is that does that happen like it does in the States, or are you more in a club with a team with with teammates and stuff like that?
Yeah, so you're with your teammates and you're the same age, and then it really depends, because some kids, they come and they have to repeat the year because they failed classes, and then they put you in the class that you're supposed to be, you know, and the clubs takes care of that. Some clubs, they have partnerships with schools, you know. In São Paulo, because it's a very big town, they have to have partnerships with some high schools for you to graduate, you know. So it's a whole different level of commitment when you are supposed to play sports there. And that's why I think the US got it right, because you get to combine those things and you get to play a high level while combining your education, you know. In high school, it's a little bit different, because I think in high school here you have more prep schools, right? Before you go to college.
Sure do.
For some sports. But no, we don't have a system of education in Brazil that allows you to play at a high level and study at a high level, unfortunately. I think it might change, you know, because although we are not in the best rankings in education, there are many good schools in Brazil for you to study, and also many good clubs for you to play.
Great. You know, you made the transition as a soccer player and as a student look seamless when you came here to Cali. But what were some of the biggest changes coming over from Brazil to Kansas, Ark City, Kansas? What were food, language? What was kind of the biggest hurdles or things for you to have to overcome once you came here?
So a couple of things. Because I had lived alone for a while, living alone wasn't a problem for me. But also, American food is not strange to South Americans. You know, we have American food there in Brazil as well, and you know, probably the biggest transition is that you have to eat it every day instead of eat it, because burgers, pizza, that kind of food you eat more to celebrate something in Brazil. No? Today you're gonna eat burger because it's your 19th birthday. I don't know. You're gonna go there and celebrate. But here it's more of an everyday thing, the American food. But I mean, the transition was very simple, because when people are welcoming, it's easier. You know, I moved from São Paulo to Italy, and Italy to Portugal, and I mean, they are not as welcoming as here, and it's not saying anything bad about Italy and Portugal, because Italians, I love Italy. It's kind of one of my homes as well. But it is something that Midwesterns are very, very nice, very polite. Not kissing your asses, guys, I promise you. But it's just it's something that impresses you. Like,
Yeah.
because you do have that idea that Americans are always stern and, you know, they're not going to look you in the eye and talk to you. They're just going to be cold, but it's not true, you know, at least here. Maybe if I go to New York City, it's going to be
That's
different.
what I was just thinking.
You know,
It
but
might be different.
that's why I don't say the U.S. I say here in the Midwest, you know. But everything was easy. I think the cafeteria food, it's a big conversation because there's a lot of complaints of cat food, but I think we had one of our staff meetings. We had a good point. Like if you go to eat at McDonald's every single day, you're gonna have problems there too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think
Like
food.
they did a movie on that, didn't they?
Yeah.
That Super Size Me, where he ate nothing but McDonald's for 30 days and about died, I think.
Yeah, if you go everywhere every single day,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, and then you have all the options to eat. Some other places don't even have anything to eat. So cat food for me was easy peasy. You know, you have to get creative. You have food every day to eat at your disposal. Obviously, you're paying for it, but you know, have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What else can you ask for? You know, and no, it was. Again, I'm not trying to paint a picture of a romantic story here because obviously there are some ups and downs, but
Sure.
everything was very, very easy. I was surprised too when I was here, because I had to do some transitions from one country to another, from one town to another. I thought, man, another time I'm gonna have to adapt and get acclimated again. Crap, I have to do this all over again. But it was very, very easy, you know, and very nice.
I do have one more question. Compare the level of play at OCU or Cowley College to the level of play in the club, which was more difficult, which was faster pace, which was what was the difference? What was the main difference? The speed of the game or the way they played? Or, I mean, because I know there's different styles of soccer, right?
Yes.
They play different style of soccer in Europe than they do South America. So,
I mean, the level is way higher in Europe, but because I'm playing with adults, so it depends. I was playing with adults before, a 35-year-old guy punching you in the face in the middle of a game. It's different than coming here.
that's where you learned it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you got a few red flags while you were here.
Yeah.
We didn't forget those.
No, I remember.
But when you play, because there were some guys in the same situation as I was, so the level isn't bad. I'm not saying that it's bad, but it's different when you're trying to play to become a professional and it's your life here, than when you're playing college and the game is over. You're thinking about composition too. You know, it's very different. At Oklahoma City University is a little higher because older guys. I mean, when you play with older players, not only you deal with more physicality, you deal with more soccer IQ. You know, so the soccer IQ plays a big role when you're gonna play sports. It's not just this guy's faster, stronger. It's about knowing how to play the game.
The mental side of it, the higher up, the older you get, mentally you're better prepared because you don't panic, you don't get excited, you just know how to play the game.
Yeah, I tell my players to this day, I say, hey guys, look, if you are able to control the speed of the game, if the game is slow for you and fast for the others, you're in a good position because you're the one controlling the speed. But if the game is too fast for you, that's the problem. So you have to it's about decision making. You know, players, the top players, they make the best decisions. So when are you playing at a higher level, like in Europe, although there was a lower level, it's more difficult. But at the same time, I was playing with younger teammates, you know, and guys with less experience. So it was a little bit difficult on my end, you know, to be able to bring them to the level of the game that we want to play, you know. But some of these teammates are the ones that, you know, became better in 2-3 months. But I think the level in Europe is definitely higher because it's higher not only than the US, but in Brazil as well. European soccer is the highest level that you can play. You know.
Yeah, well, you touched on it just a little bit too about Oklahoma City University, and that's where you went after Cowley.
Yeah.
And just to remind everybody, you know, you didn't just go there and just play. You were the Sooner Athletic Conference first team selection, were the conference's offensive player of the year. You were also a college sports information director of America academic all district performer, had a GPA of 3.70. So you had the same success individually you did, you know, basically at Cali. You carried that over and did that at Oklahoma City. Was that a good experience for you there at the school too?
I struggle a little bit with the transition because everybody leaves Cowley struggles a little bit when we transition.
Sure.
And that's normal. You know, to this day it's a thing. But my first year I struggled with injuries a lot, but I still had a good performance on the field. And I like the school. The school is very nice.
Good.
It's also a small school, but it's a beautiful campus and nice people as well. My coach, Brian Harvey, also an amazing man. You know, also focus on the person as well. And he's an English guy, little tougher than Roberto.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but equally nice, I would say.
Gotcha. Is
And
he almost like a Sammy from Hutch, or is he?
Sammy is crazy, man. Sammy is
All right, maybe,
crazy.
yeah, he's one of his own, so never
I
mind.
love Sammy. I need to give him a hug sometime soon. But yeah, he's kind of like that because both are British. You know? So it was nice that experience. OCU, it was more towards, you know, I'm looking to graduate, and it was very nice. And it's just crazy that I look back, and my first year wasn't that good. You know, I wasn't extremely happy on the field, and I didn't have that connection with the teammates and stuff like that, and also sometimes with the coaches, although they were amazing to me, you know. And I think, man, I never crossed my mind I have to transfer. And I think about the transfer portal today, like everybody wants to transfer after one bad semester.
You're right.
My whole thing is like, how can I make this better? And because you start something, you have to finish, you know. Not start something, you have to transfer. So, and then I you know, stay there. And senior year was very good.
Sure
On the
was.
field, we were champions after a while. Very long time that hadn't been champions of the conference, and had some amazing teammates. You know that still cherish the memories with them, and some of these teammates, they have become head coach as well.
Great.
One of them is the head coach at SNU.
Really?
Yeah, and the other is UNC Asheville Division I coach as well.
Very cool.
So we have others too that are coaching junior college or Rose State, and yeah, it's nice to see my former teammates being coaches as well and talk about it. You know? Yeah.
Quite a thing to come out of one team to have that many coaches go on.
But I think it's probably because of the coach, you know, Brian Harvey, and also Billy, that is the coach there right now. We were looking how they were doing things, and we wanted to live that kind of life. We wanted to get that kind of feeling of recruiting someone, of building a program. I think there is something very special to lead an athletic program, you know.
Oh yeah, well, and you know, Coach, just to hear who we talk about, you know, it never even entered his mind about transferring. He saw that, hey, what do I need to do to get better? What do I do to help my team get better? And just kept looking at that ultimate goal. Boy, you know, I know I've got to get with the times. I know the transfer portal is a thing, and you know, we all got to adjust to it. But I just love that's what we need. That's what you need to have a successful team. Is you got to have the guys that are like, no, I'm here. This is my school now.
We all miss that mindset, but unfortunately, that mindset doesn't happen nowadays. But it's like I said, we've had this conversation so many times that we could go on and on and on. But
I know
it's, you know, that was 15 years ago, so a different time, a different place. But that your coaches not only impact you on the field, he impact you off the field as well.
Yeah.
If you want to follow his profession, that's the best compliment you could ever give a guy that you enjoyed playing for him.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
No, I received two full ride offers after my freshman year at Cowley.
Oh, really? You had two of them, okay.
Two full ride from Division IIs.
Yeah.
And I wasn't eligible to play Division II, ultimately. But, and I spoke with Roberto, and he was aware of that and everything. And Roberto never forced me to stay. He never said, hey, you have to stay here, or I'm going to cut your scholarship or something like that. He said, look, this is what you have. This is what you might have, you know, and ultimately you have to make a decision. But my mom always said too, like, you start something, you have to finish. You know, I think breaking something in the middle just kind of, I don't know, breaks the flow. And I mean, I had committed to come here and play 2 years.
Well, Roberto handled it right too, though, because
Yeah.
he didn't lose his mind because you were thinking about
Yeah.
possibly leaving. I don't know if you were thinking about it, but you had offers to leave. So he approached it the right way, and he made you comfortable with your decision. And,
Yeah.
you know, you made the right decision to stay here.
Yeah, and that wasn't the first time that he had to deal with me in this kind of decision making for life, you know. But yeah, I mean, he was just obviously he said, "I'm gonna be sad if I lose you because you're a player that you're helping us on the field,
Yeah.
but he cannot force me,
Sure.
you know, or anything." I was a walk-on in my first year.
Isn't that
Actually.
incredible? That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I was a walk-on. I was surprised that he kept my, because I got my visa denied 4 times before I finally got my visa, and Roberto, and I was the last one to be recruited because the team was already closed, and I spoke with him in April, and the team was already closed, so I think it was already 24 guys, 25, and I was the last one to arrive. I didn't have a place to go, and then I applied and I got my visa denied and everything. And Roberto said, "Hey, if you wanna come, your place is here," you know, and yeah,
And the rest is history.
yeah. And then he didn't, and then I stay here, and we couldn't offer a full ride for my second year, and I had a full ride offer to go to Division 2, you know.
Wow.
But then it says a lot. I stay here, and it wasn't on a full ride,
Yeah.
but I wanted to stay. I found a work on campus, you know. I was working as a RA. And stay here, love the experience, you know. Buck was still a dorm manager.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, those were the days, man. Boy.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you, too, after Oklahoma City, what was the transition in between there? How long was it before you came back to Cali then? And we're back here helping coach.
it was one summer
One summer.
and that was the other time that Roberto helped me with the decision making, because I had a master's program. I had applied to a master's program at Fordham University, and I got the full scholarship stipend GA position there to go. And I was already dating Micah, my wife, and you know, it was a perfect position for me to keep going and getting my master's. It was kind of area that I was studying, and going to New York City was a desire that I had because I'm from São Paulo, and you know, I wanted to go to New York. And then I still remember we had this conversation at Paris Park. We were just talking about it, and we had a conversation because Robert's like, "Hey, I need help here, but I don't have a position for you. I have if you come, you're gonna be a volunteer, you know." And I had helped the team already, kind of in a preseason, and I love doing that. You know, I realized that I love coaching, and you have this full ride, and you know, GA position at Fordham, you know, on the table, and then we talk about life and everything, and make comfortable, and just realizing where home is, and then ultimately I decided to stay, you know, as a volunteer, and trying to, you know, because I had my after you graduate and you're an international student, you have like a permission to work here for 1 year if you apply for it. It's called OPT. And I had this OPT, so for 1 semester I was here. I wasn't making any money. I was just looking for ways to, you know, to start working. And ultimately, Cowley opened the position.
Terrific.
And then,
I think it was the food and the people that kept him here. And Micah had something to do with it, too.
Yeah, they might add a little bit.
He can act like he's pretty cool, but we all know better than that.
yeah, yeah. You know, I was already for a long time just going from one place to the other, living alone and everything. And at some point, you have to think, man, I have to find a home, you know, because it's not sustainable for you to just be jumping from one place to another and thinking life is just this kind of surprises, you know. Some people can do it. I couldn't anymore. So, and then I was able to stay here as a volunteer my first semester, and then the position opened, and I took the position.
Well, and what's amazing is, you know, Coach Roberto was leading the men's program for all those years, and then he made the transition over to coach the women's team. You made the transition over to be the head coach of the Tiger men's soccer team, and wow, I mean, it just took off. You know, and you led Cali to 5 national tournament berths in 6 seasons. An overall record of, Coach, this is rivaling, you know, what you did at Cali, 110, 17, and 6. I mean, just incredible numbers here. And I think you'll appreciate this. I always appreciated about you as a player. You were, I mean, you watch you out there on the field and you were giving everything you had. As a coach, that didn't go away. It was just like you were out there playing the game, but on the sidelines.
Yeah.
I mean, you had that passion, and your team fed off of that.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your coaching style, and what did you enjoy most about your time coaching here at Cowley?
I mean, the coaching style, is passion. I love the sport, and I love the game. I love competition. Competing for me, I cannot think about arriving second or third. It offends me that someone is better than me. It makes me angry. But this is a mindset that you have to understand that sometimes you are going to be second and third.
Yeah.
But the approach is, no, I have to try to find a way to get to the top. Not at all costs in terms of cheating on cutting corners, but how can I be better? How can I be the best? So for me, that's the mindset, and I want the players to feel that they can do that as well. I wouldn't be telling them if I didn't believe it.
Right.
But if I believe myself alone, it's not enough. If I tell, hey, you can do it, he needs to believe that more than I believe, because I'm not playing. I can be a crazy guy on the sidelines, but they need to be the ones doing it.
I'm surprised those 17 losses and that 6 ties didn't get him fired.
I can pretty well remember about all those,
Yeah,
because
really.
there's so few of them. I can.
Disappointment, like one time a year, like you're out. Sorry.
We expect so much more.
Yeah, really.
And that's the thing. You guys created those monsters and those programs to where, that's what Cowley kind of expects, is to be right there competing at the end.
To be honest with you, I think was the perfect storm that happened in 2018 when I took over the men's program. Because again, big credits to Roberto. He knew that I didn't want to coach women's soccer because it's something that I didn't have the experience, and he had experience coaching women's soccer before.
That's right.
And he accepted that, but we kind of made a pact. We would be working together in everything, So we only had one assistant, which was Tanner Brock, which was a big piece for the program as well.
Yes, he was.
And we started working together, in everything. Like, we kind of unified both programs. Obviously, I coached the men's, Roberto coached the women, Tanner's with both of us. But in terms of equipment, culture, because the locker rooms are right there. Locker room is a sacred place for the players. So the standards, the culture, behavior, we had to make sure the players understood they are not athletes anymore or just people. They are Cowley soccer players, Cowley soccer student athletes. So, and it was nice because the programs, the athletes, they were there with each other, talking to each other, understanding. They talk about, so women's soccer will talk about their training session, men's soccer would talk about their training session and the games and the plans. So everybody was, no, we have to win. We have to do this better. So,
well, like you said, it was great not only for you, and it was the perfect storm. It was great for you.
Yeah.
It was a good move for Roberto, too, because he's taken the women's soccer program and lifted them to new heights. So you both took both soccer programs. You mentioned Tanner Brock, and what a big piece he was. Marcos Ribeiro now also, he took over as, and he worked with you and then took over as head coach. What was your experience like working with Marcos, and do you still keep in touch with him and Tanner a little bit?
Yeah, with Tanner a little less. Tanner is in Kansas City, but Tanner was a tennis assistant coach here.
Yeah.
And then
right.
when they opened the position, say, hey, Tanner, would you like to? Because he played soccer. He was a
good soccer player.
He was a big player for
Fort State. Yeah.
And then he said, yeah, I want to coach soccer. And then he's from Winfield, so he would be close to home still. And he coached. And then in the meantime, they opened the second position. And then we contacted Marcos, because Marcos played for Johnson County 2 years, and then he transferred to Baker.
We don't like to say that too much, but yes, he did.
Yeah. He bleeds orange now.
That's right. We know that for sure.
But he went on to play for Baker University. And Marcos, man, talk about a hard-working guy. He's, the same way I'm passionate on the field, he's passionate about working and getting things done and leaving everything prepared. He comes from a great background in Brazil as well. From his family, works extremely hard. He's very diligent with things. Sometimes extremely annoying. Marcos, calm down, man. Jesus. But that's a great thing.
Yeah.
He wants to get stuff done. He asks the questions all the time, and then you see that. You see how the program is.
Well, you'd rather him be that way than where you got to egg him on to keep doing, come on,
Yeah.
let's do some stuff.
And for me, was no hesitation to leave someone like that because he loves the place. He loves Cowley. He loves here. And him and Roberto get along really well as well. And then obviously we have another addition, which is Chevy.
Yes.
Phenomenal guy as well.
Sebio has done a great job.
Goalkeeping coach, but also an assistant coach. And I think the big thing for us that we kind of realizing, we are like family people, all of us. Roberto, it's a big thing for him. Myself, Tanner, Marcos, and Chevy, we all like to think of it in terms of family. And that helps a lot because, creates a proper environment for student athletes to come. And it's just to keep the program going, So my whole experience coaching at Cowley feels like every single year we're getting better somehow. And that's the thing that I'm really proud because if you get to the top, so we got to the top of conference here, people are going to try to pull you down.
That's right.
So you have to get creative. You have to think outside the box. What can I do different? While maintaining, conserving the good stuff. But sometimes you have to change. You're not going to make a revolution every single season. No, I'm going to keep the pillars that keeps the program standing. But you have to think outside the box because every year, the other teams are trying to beat you. And we tell the guys, we told them at Cowley, listen, to score a goal is extremely difficult. Imagine scoring more goals than the other team and winning a game. It's extremely hard. So you have to fight like crazy every time to get to that position. And I think, we had that sense of progress every single season. And I'm very proud of that. But that does not happen if you don't have good people around you.
Right. Well, and Coach, we know that making a transition from coaching at junior college level and then making a step up, you might move to D2 or something, but Coach Vaz got the opportunity to go all the way up and be a head coach, not just an assistant, but a head coach at a D1 school going to Eastern Illinois. And that's a pretty impressive feather in the cap of Cowley College,
Absolutely.
So, and tell us, Ruy, what's been the biggest change for you making that transition from coaching at junior college ranks, but getting the opportunity now going into year 2 is hard to believe, but at Eastern Illinois?
Yes, it's a different beast.
Yeah.
It's a different world. The level of competition is definitely higher. There are a lot of things that play into it, but I think in terms of developing a team, it's pretty much the same. And I'm very happy that we are doing that at EIU right now with building a roster. I had 25 new players last season.
Wow.
I had to bring.
My goodness, yeah.
And now I'm very happy that we were one of the teams with least people in the transfer portal.
That's
so
great.
We are keeping the guys, and we are keeping a lot of guys that play 0 minutes, and they just wanted to stay. And we want them to stay because it's development.
Yeah, they know your program. So
we have a good foundation coming back, and we are creating a place that is home. First year, we already improved from the previous seasons, but it was a tough year for me because I'm used to have more of a success on the field. But it was a much needed season for me to develop this thick skin, see how things work in Division 1. I think that the NCAA itself is different than the JUCO, so you already have to adapt to new rules, to new ways of doing things, different channels, different processes, and but it's been fun, honestly, because it's forcing me to, again, I have to think outside the box. I have to get better as a coach. I have to get better as a person. One of the things that I'm very grateful is the administration there. They gave me all the support since day one. Just saw that my AD, he's moving to the University of Illinois right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he just took a position there as
Wow.
a deputy AD. So
Okay.
I messaged him. I'm very, I'm happy for him because he's a alum there. It's his alma mater, but it's a bittersweet feeling because he gave me the opportunity, and
Sure.
just wish him the best. But yeah, it's been very nice. Also, the other thing that I'm very happy is the women's soccer program. They have been nothing but phenomenal with me. Dirk and Deanna, they have been giving me the support that I need, and we are creating that family environment with the women's soccer as well.
Great.
And it's been, and the other thing that's been very nice is my coaching staff. All of my assistants now, they are former Cowley players. Yeah,
I love it. That's great.
André Cavicchione, he's my boy. Since day one, we are from the same neighborhood in São Paulo. Yeah,
Wow.
he's one that he's become family to me. Him and his family as well. So amazing person. Another one that works extremely hard, and it's impressive the way he do things. And then we have Valentine. He's finishing his master's of exercise physiology now at EIU, and he was our sports performance coach right there. And Rafa Furlani, our best goalkeeper ever here, and he was our goalkeeping coach. So having those guys right there with me, I feel very blessed. To be with them, and they are another ones that can help with the culture.
I love hearing those kind of stories that those Cali guys are all there with Coach Vaz, and all the Tiger fans out there listening. You've got another team. If you haven't already, start cheering for Eastern Illinois. Then, so that's got a great Cali connection.
Yeah, and I think that's the way to do it. We are gearing up for a very tough season now. We're gonna have a very tough schedule this season. And we're gonna play top 20 teams, in the non-conference, and the OVC is a tough conference as well, So, but having the right people around you and people that are ready to flourish and do the right thing, that's the good stuff. Most of the players that I recruit, they are JUCO guys, because of our situation there. It's easier to recruit junior college players. We have some transfers as well. And some domestic kids from the area, St. Louis, Chicago. So we are going to be a humble team. We know what we can do, and we're going to keep working hard.
Yeah, well, I know once you get a chance to put your stamp on that program, it's going to be great. So, you mentioned earlier your wife, Micah. Tell us about your family. Children then. Tell us a little bit about your family life.
Yeah, so Micah, I met her freshman year, first class.
Oh, wow. Your first Cali class?
First Cowley class.
Unreal.
Mass communication. We were both mass comm major. I think Chris was already working at Cowley probably. Or 2012 we started, right? 13? No, but you were there because I remember there. The girls thought he was very handsome.
2000. So, yeah. Are you sure you're remembering right? That wasn't.
No, okay, it was Chris. Okay.
You sure it wasn't Rama? You sure it wasn't Rama Peroo?
Yeah, no.
He was probably a student. I don't know. But
this guy, maybe he was the guy that was about 20 years younger than Rama and was in a band and all the other cool stuff. So that kind of helps.
Him and Paul McCartney hang out in the same street corner. So I can see why you'd think that.
I have another Cowley guy there.
Awesome. Yeah.
He didn't want to play for me, but that's okay.
Yeah, got your cheering section. Yeah. That's great. Love it.
Yeah, but no, we met freshman year, first class, and was communication curriculum class, something like that. And we were partnered up in the very first class to do something. And then we were friends for a few years, And then we started dating end of sophomore year. And then we did long distance a lot. But then... have no idea. She stuck with me, but here we are. And now we have two beautiful children. Have Giovanni. He's almost 3. He's gonna be 3 next month.
Stop.
Yeah. Wow. Gio is gonna be 3, and Margot. Margot, she just turned 2 months old.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's so wonderful.
No, she's a Cowley fan. Obviously, she was in every single games. I think she had a crush on me after she watched me playing. Who's that guy,
We need to get her on the show next and clear all this up, right, Rama?
I offered. I said, hey, Mike, I want to join, but I don't think we wanted some of those stories told.
You know what's funny? One of the classes that we had to do an interview with baseball. And I was like, I don't want to go. Can you go? Because I was afraid of interviewing him.
I remember her. I don't remember him.
I wonder why. The fear as a young reporter.
I wonder why I remember her, not him. Why would I? I know her dad as well. So
that's true. You remember both of them.
Oh yeah.
I had to remind you who he was coming in today.
So Mike was like, no, you have to go. It's like, no, you have to come with me. So we went together. I was taking care of the camera. And she was doing the interview. But it was great. No, because I didn't speak English that much.
Yeah.
You know, and I was just, have to ask the questions and everything.
Hey, believe me, I was intimidated when I first started here, and I was like, I'm going to have to ask this guy questions after games. Oh, boy, So then you get to know the guy, and you're like, okay, maybe behind that exterior, he's not so tough, maybe.
Yeah, but lefty is also intimidating, too.
Well, sure.
Yeah, lefty is difficult. But, no, it was nice because I was here when Brock, he had come back because he had worked before, and then he left, and he came back. And I got to see, Buck and Lefty and Dave doing what they do.
Oh, yeah.
It was nice.
A few things before we wind down. It's hard to believe we're already closing in on an hour, but just a few quick things. So, tell me when you do have some free time. What's some things, some hobbies of you? What do you like to do whenever you have some time just for yourself? Any hobbies?
Man, I'm a simple guy. I like to just, either go to a coffee shop or go to watch movies. Like to smoke cigars. That's not a very healthy hobby, but but I don't smoke every day. But I think there's some beauty to it.
You can get a victory cigar every once in a while, right?
Yeah, especially if you win a lot. But thankfully, I haven't won that much this past year, so I'm healthier now. No, but I like to sometimes like to go to concerts, and. Yeah, I like to read, watch movies, and hang out with the family.
Wonderful.
Hang out with the kids.
He had mentioned food earlier about the Cali food stuff or whatever when he was here. But I'll tell you what, if you ever get a chance and Rui's throwing a party, you've got to come because this guy, the food that is there is some of the best ever. And he said, hey, this is, and I feel terrible because he's got this spread of steaks and just, and then chickens and everything. Everything's all set up and it's unbelievable. And, you just come through and people just come and you just pick it right off the thing and just eat it. And it's so good. And it's just, you do that all night long. And it's
Brazilian barbecue that we do.
And he says this is just kind of what you do back in Brazil, right?
Yeah.
It's just, I love it.
It's almost like as if you worship food in a way because it's not just, okay, I get there, I get a plate, I eat, I sit there awkwardly and then I go. It just, usually Brazilian barbecue lasts hours because you just keep, grilling and putting the meat there and everything. Yep. No, it's good. And next time I'll make when you guys have to come.
Please.
Again,
yeah,
you have to try because it's just it's not just about eating. It's about eating and talking and
it is.
cherishing
order food. If you go back to Italy, bring back some pasta too while you're at it.
Hey, I'm Italian, and I would. And Italian food's my favorite in the world. But I'm telling you, this matches anything I've had.
Man.
It's a blast.
Yeah.
I like a variety. I don't.
Yeah, you like steak, right?
Yeah,
so this is some Brazilian. It's
I
so
went
good.
to Kansas City. when we were driving back, we stopped in Kansas City to see family there in Olathe. And they have a Brazilian little grocery store there. Oh. Man, it was like Disneyland.
I bet.
Oh my gosh, I bought so much stuff. Yeah, and they have everything, even the meat, the cuts there, the Brazilian cuts. They have everything. So, I stopped there. I have a bunch of things. I'm kind of giving to my son a little bit, but I'm gonna keep to myself as well. Micah loves it too. So
excellent, good.
It's great. It's great stuff.
Last couple things here for you. Music interests. You got any kind of music interest that you're into? I mean, if you're just driving around, and have a time to put on the radio or something, anything you listening to?
I grew up. My dad and my mom, they like rock and roll, but they also like Brazilian popular music. So if you're a Brazilian, you're gonna be exposed to Brazilian music, obviously. Yeah. So Brazilian music for me, but I really like rock and roll and I really like blues. My dad, when I was little, he took me to a B.B. King concert.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, it was a free concert in São Paulo, 1995.
Wow.
And I think it was 120,000 people there because it was free.
Yeah.
I think, obviously, if you're just there sitting, smoking a cigar with friends and you're going to listen to blues.
Nothing better than B.B. King,
no,
then, right?
Nothing better. So, yeah, I like that. But I listen to everything, But I think mostly it's obviously Brazilian music. Not this Brazilian crap that you guys like to listen nowadays. My goodness.
Different, huh?
Yeah. No, I like Brazilian popular music like samba, obviously, but rock and roll and blues. This is kind of my thing, my to-go, especially if I'm working out.
Excellent. Yeah. What about TV-wise? Anything you're interested in watching television-wise?
I like the kind of crime shows. I really like the series, the TV shows they watch. Breaking Bad, I really like it.
One of my favorites, yeah.
Breaking Bad, The Ozark, it's really good.
It's good too.
Peaky Blinders is really nice. There are more, man. I like the more the darker movies, like the dramas that makes you think and makes you feel, or anything that Denzel Washington is in it.
So good. You're right.
Yeah, that's
Here's a Denzel Washington one for you. Have you ever seen the movie Glory?
Glory. No.
Yeah, all right, put that on your list, all right?
Really?
It's one of his first ones he did, and it's him and Matthew Broderick. It's a war movie, true story, too.
Oh, wow.
About the first all-black regiment that fought in the Civil War, and it's
really?
really good, yeah. So
Glory.
get a chance, check
I'm
that
gonna put
out,
it
all right?
down.
But want to finish up on a really positive note here. I mentioned earlier that you bled orange and black. I mean, when you were a player, when you were a coach, you talked about the pride of putting on that Cowley uniform, and I mean, you could see it. It wasn't talk; you meant it.
Yeah.
And that hasn't gone away with you leaving Eastern Illinois. That'll always be there with you.
Yeah.
But can you tell me a little bit about, with your wife, Micah, being so involved working at Cowley, with your father-in-law, James Fry, also worked here at Cowley for so many years. What does Cowley mean to you and your family?
Means everything. Now my history with Cowley, it's since 2011, so it's 15 years. Mm-hmm. It's more, than a third of my life. So it means everything. It helped reshape myself. Because I was shaped in a way, and then I came here, and I learned so much about community, and that's huge for someone who wants to be a leader at a college, athletics. Know the concept of community, of service, and that's the example that I had at home with my wife, and obviously her father and her mom. So the concept of community, of service, and of doing your job, doing your job, because when you do that, you're honoring people around you, you're honoring your job, you're honoring your family, you're putting your name out there in a way that people are going to look at you and going to think, oh, that's the way it is supposed to be done, positively and negatively, So when you are in a position of leadership, you have to inspire people naturally, not trying to inspire someone. You just have to do it, And Cowley taught me that, and I think about, obviously, I still think about the president at Cowley when I arrived here.
Dr. Pat McAtee?
Yeah, he used to be with us after the games in a hurdle, just, and having someone that, he's a president, he doesn't need to be there to do that. He was there and he used to talk to us and just the simplicity of the thing, But it's difficult to be simple if you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
So Cowley taught me that, So when I think about Cowley, I was talking to Micah. In soccer, we say, nothing is bigger than the club. No one is bigger than the club. Mm-hmm. There's no player that is bigger than the name of the club. Same thing as Cowley. You always have to think there's nothing bigger than Cowley when you are here.
Right.
You have to represent this institution because this institution is giving you all the tools for you to thrive. And Cowley gave me that, and I'm very happy to see the direction that it's going. And I'm still very happy to see that there are people here that, like you, and Coach, I was here. It just makes me happy, And yeah, see, Chris, has been here for a long time. You see also Coach Jen, Jenny, she was a player as well. So Lana,
so many of them that were former players that are here now as coaches.
Yeah, and
seem like they've been here forever.
Yeah, and I mean, it means something, right? If you like the place, you want to come here and you want to fight for the place, So that's obviously when I was passionate was part of it. Not just because I am naturally passionate as a person, but because you want to fight with passion for something that you love, and we all love Cowley.
Coach, you have anything else for Ruy?
No, I'm glad he came on. It was a cool hour. I kind of enjoyed going down memory lane with him.
Me too.
Awesome.
It's been great, Ruy. Thank you so much for joining us. If you want to hang out for just 1 minute, Okay.
Yeah.
Just got some things we'll finish up with here, and then we'll get ready to head you out. But it's been awesome. I mean, it's hard to believe we've been talking for a little over an hour now. So
no, I
we'll
appreciate
get you
you
ready
guys.
to get out of here. I know Chris has got to get back. We all do, but it's been so much fun. We could do this forever, and we'll definitely have you back again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, one day I want to sit down with Blake here because Blake and I we have some cool stories. When
like
he was a student when I was a student,
Uh-huh.
you know, and he was my athletic trainer. But you know, thank you guys for the opportunity for coming here to show.
pleasure.
I'm wearing blue right now. It's EIU blue.
Yeah.
Not Barton blue. It's
That's right.
KCK. No, it's EIU blue, and it's a place that I love as well, and I want people to
I'm
see
glad
it.
he said that. It's not Barton Blue because we'd have thought that this interview would last about 2 minutes.
That's
wouldn't
right. Well, Ruy Vaz, it's been great
it? Like,
seeing you.
yeah,
So-
bye. Hit the road, Jack.
That's right. We can deal with that, Blue, because we're proud of, you know,
Absolutely.
Eastern Illinois. That's a team we're cheering for D1 soccer. And we know you're going to do great things there.
Thank you very much, guys.
Now, and Huey's, we informed him, you know, hey, there's going to be a great joke. So that's why he really wanted to stick around. So
Well, you know, he's talking about drinking coffee or something strong. I got me a drink of water before this joke takes place because it might be more I can handle.
you know, Coach, usually, I mean, I don't drink that water because I don't want you to be laughing too hard there.
I don't want to
spit that
drown
out,
on it either,
so.
though. So
All right, guys. So recently, a friend of mine, he asked his date to meet him at the gym. All right, he said, hey, you know, he asked this girl. He said, hey, would you mind meeting me at the gym? So there was time to meet, and she never showed up. So I guess the two of them aren't going to work out.
Oh,
Yeah. So all right.
see, you sure you want to come back?
think about it now.
Do you see the response I get? Oh, that's usually that's a better response than I usually get. Usually it's just
really?
crickets, but I'll take the O. All right, so okay. All right, so guys, so events at Cowley tonight: sophomore art and design showcase and student reception. Be in the right room from 5:30 to 7. There'll be the spring music concert. We'll also follow that tonight in the Brown Theater at 7 o'clock. So get on out and show your support for the students here at Cowley. The softball team going to be playing at the Region 6 tournament up in Overland Park facing Neosho tomorrow at 5 p.m. And then, Coach, the Tiger baseball team, they're going to host the sub-regional versus Dodge City. Best of 3 on Thursday and Friday at 2 p.m. Hoping not to have to play Saturday at 2, but if needed, they'll play then. But Tiger baseball team, it's everybody 0-0 right now. So softball and baseball, hoping to do good things. Your thoughts on the Tiger baseball team, and are you going to be doing any of those games? Will CSN have some broadcasts?
I think they're broadcasting the sub. So
Great.
It's postseason baseball. It's
Yep.
postseason athletics. It's postseason. It's the fun part of the year. So
Sure is.
it's why you do all that work in August, and you do it for 9 months. And now you got a chance to make it pay off. So, you know, I'm excited to see how the softball team's going to do because I think they got a good chance. And you know, the baseball team's kind of been up and down, but it's there. So,
That's right.
you know, you just got to play well at the right time. That's what winning the postseason's about. It's whoever plays the best. It's not about the best team. So, if you play better, you're going to win games.
Well, we're hoping we're here next Tuesday telling you about some good news on the front from softball and baseball. Also, just an update, Cowley women's tennis is second right now, entering the final day of competition at the national tournament. Going to have to make some headway to pass Hillsborough, but they've got 4 singles players and a doubles team in the finals, so great things for the women's team. Cowley Free Movie Night is Thursday at 10 p.m. at the Cowley Cinema 8. And then commencement this weekend, Saturday at 10 a.m. inside W.S. Scott Auditorium. So that's all we got for today. Once again, we'd like to thank Chris Ripley for doing all the work behind the scenes and getting this podcast to you. Thank you, Coach, very much for being
my
here
pleasure.
today.
Yeah.
And thank you, Ruy Vaz.
Thank you. Thank you,
so
guys.
it's been a lot of fun, and we'll look forward to
Thank you.
seeing you guys all
you, Coach.
again next Tuesday on the Behind the Stripes podcast.